That which is cosmic awareness is now available. Please proceed.
Welcome, awareness. Thank you for being available for the Rainbow Phoenix membership session of April 9, 2014. Will Burlington is the interpreter for your messages. Joan Mills, the questioner and energizer, and Lloyd Ard as also energizer. The law of light, the law of love, and the law of unity have been invoked. Is there an opening message or any event you would like to discuss at this time, please?
That this awareness has a general opening message at this time. That it is in regards to the energies that are now underway, that are now flowing, that these energies are still not perhaps recognized, nor are they understood, but many are having intense feelings and thoughts and impressions of things not easily spoken of, not easily comprehended, even by those having these thoughts, impressions, and feelings. That much work is being done in the sleep state, where many are indeed involved in activities of great importance, and yet when the individual returns from the dream state, this deep level of involvement, often there is no recollection or memory of the activities of the night. That this awareness will say that this is to protect those who are at such deep levels doing such important work. That to have too readily available the remembrance of the activities of the night would be for many too challenging and too difficult. That there is another level of existence that is happening while one is in the wakeful state, while one is fully awake and conscious in third dimensional reality. That there is still a distance between the third dimensional state of consciousness experienced during the waking state and that level of consciousness that many go to when they are asleep, and that which is their consciousness can leave the body and be involved in these extracurricular activities of spirit and the soul. That many have an impression that they have been active, but it is frustrating to them that they cannot remember the details of their dreams. More accurately, they cannot remember the details of the activity that they were involved in the non-corporeal state, in that state of consciousness that is unbridled, that is free to partake in other levels of consciousness. That the preparation that is happening at this time for many is a preparation from the deepest resources of their being, the deepest knowing of their true selves, that is unbridled to the physical, thus is available when one is asleep and free of the grounding of the consciousness in the physical. Yet, when one returns into the body, returns to the body, when one awakens into a physical state of consciousness, those understandings that were available, that realization that one's greater being is retracted and covered up. Do not fear that nothing is happening. Do not think that which is occurring when one is asleep, but that which is not remembered, is irrelevant. It is indeed of great importance and great relevancy to understand and appreciate that consciousness is not only connected to physical waking consciousness, but is indeed the state of true being that exists even when one is not aware of what is occurring. Many may ask, why is this so, when they have such a desire to remember their out-of-body experiences and the activities they may have been involved in? On one level, it is for the protection of the individual that this state of forgetfulness plays out, that this state of forgetfulness of the activities of one's conscious being during the sleep state is one that allows the individual to be fully functional and involved in their physical lives on a daily basis. If it were so that many were able to, at this point at least, remember the activities they were involved in during their non-corporeal state of conscious awareness, that they would find it makes the day very difficult to get through. And there would also be the problem of determining whether or not that which is the physical experience is of any importance. This awareness would say that it is extremely important that when one is in their physically awake state, that they get on with their lives and their days and recognize that there is at this time for most a distinct division between waking consciousness and that which is sleeping consciousness, or the level of consciousness available while the body is resting and asleep. That many do have a feeling for things, even though they do not understand why or what this might even mean. This awareness would also state that while it may be so that one cannot remember what was dreamt of, what occurred while one was out of body, that it does not mean, again, that nothing occurred or that this is an insignificant time. Rather, it is of importance to recognize, not so much through intellectual process, but through a feeling process, that there are indeed events occurring, adventures being had, problems resolved during this, quote, unconscious period of one's life, this period of time that is created when one is asleep. The irony, of course, is that when one goes into this state of consciousness, one steps out of time and is available, the individual is available to greater levels of consciousness, greater degrees of spirit than when one is shut down during the state of wakefulness. There is a deep remembrance that is held at the unconscious level of the activities during this sleep state, this non-corporeal state of consciousness, where that which is the identity and consciousness of the individual is available for the extracurricular activities of the soul. That while it may be that this is a way of protecting one from becoming too abstract during waking consciousness, of making a physical life an impossibility, for there is bleed through of that which is the remembrance of existence beyond the physical state, it is still of great importance to understand and to have the patience to allow that which is. This being, of course, that when one awakens, that one may not remember the dreams and experiences encountered during that alternate state of conscious awareness that occurs during the sleeping state, the dreaming periods, that one can feel the significance. And at this time, in the individual advancement of the individual consciousness of each, to have patience and to understand and recognize that while there may be for many a frustration in not remembering details, there may be a confusion of why this is so when one so desperately yearns to remember the trips to the mothership or into other places of consciousness and reality. It is still nonetheless that which is taking place. To hold this neutrality, to be centered and balanced in this time, at this time, where one has frustration around this matter of not remembering what is occurring, this awareness would say, do trust your own conscious being, your own conscious expression. Understand there are indeed many greater forces that are playing out now, that are working towards changing all, and that while one may feel a frustration that they cannot remember what they were involved in, that one still holds that it is as it needs be at this time, that they are doing vital work both of a personal nature and a grand and collective nature while they are in the dream state. As one removes certain inner barriers, inner restrictions into the remembrance of certain dreams, that they may find that they begin to remember the very dreams that previously they could not remember. They may begin to recognize that even in the weirdness of the dreams remembered, there are deep truths, that the language of the dream is often symbolic, when remembered later. This is not so during the dream or the experience that is being had at an alternate level of reality and consciousness. But it is so when one awakens and one begins to remember strange dreams that cannot be fully understood. That at this time what is of greater importance is not the mental understanding of one's dreams, but the understanding that there has been participation in the activities of spirit that go on when one has left the body. That when one is willing to simply be with their dreams and the feelings of them, that one will begin to integrate more and more the different layers of consciousness and be able to then cross the gap between waking consciousness and that which is dreaming consciousness, or that which is the state of consciousness that exists beyond the physical realm. This awareness can only say to all that very deep work is being done now, both at personal levels as well as the collective level. That many of those who are hearing or reading these words are involved in group activity, the activity of the soul families that are involved in this tremendous adventure of shifting consciousness and changing realities that is fully underway at this time. Understand also that it is imperative that one reach certain levels of refinement, and much of the process of refinement is taking place during the sleep state, during these non-corporeal adventures and experiences. That many think that ascension is something that they can simply wish for and demand, but that there is nothing of effort involved. There is no work to be done other than to state that it is the desire and intent to ascend and to have available new experiences. But as this awareness has so often said, there is much personal work that needs to be done, that there is much emotional release that must be accomplished, and that much of this work is being done in the unconscious state, the state of consciousness that is occurring as one sleeps. Hold this to be relevant to you personally. Hold this to be true and accurate to you personally. That this will allow you to have the patience that is at this time still required, even though there does not always seem to be on the physical level of the experience much evidence that supports the grander realizations and healing that is occurring in the non-physical state. Things are underway, and you will recognize at a later point how important this phase has been and how important this phase still is. But in this moment, when so many are heavily involved in the work to make changes at the deeper levels, that the frustration experienced is often of such a nature that it can be a distraction, that it can cause one to wonder and doubt if anything at all is occurring. Much is indeed taking place at this time, and much of this is being experienced at this deeper and what is still unconscious state of awareness and remembrance. Do understand that those dreams that are remembered, even if they make little sense, are indicative of the deeper work that is being done. And do try, to your own ability, to understand the dream, to understand that this is more than a dream. It is an experience in consciousness that is taking place at an entirely different level, and you are becoming more and more used to this. You are moving into the blending of that which is known as the unconscious state with the fully conscious state that is available in physical reality. This awareness could say that which is ahead is so strange by comparison to that which is the normal physical reality, that if one was simply thrown into such altered conditions without preparation, that madness would occur to many, and that this would be, of course, most detrimental. Therefore, understand as well that this stage, this place of preparation, is essential in the ascension process, and that it is fluid in nature, that there is a flow to the experiences, both at the conscious daily waking level of consciousness and the unconscious level that is attained and experienced when one is asleep. That many are starting to have most powerful dreams now. Many are starting to glimpse at these dreams and wonder what this is implying, what this means. Realize that you are moving forward. Realize that something very deep is happening, and even though one may not understand completely, even though one may be frustrated with what seems to be a lack of evidence or a lack of progress, that nonetheless progress is being made and great events are unfolding. That this completes this opening message at this time for those who are feeling this inner state of development, those who are having difficult times with this, and those who are wishing for more to occur. It is as it is. Be patient, have trust and faith, and enjoy the process. Look forward to each and every night and each and every adventure into altered consciousness, and know that even though it at this time may still seem to be outside of the reality one experiences during their waking state, it is not so, that there is a blending, and that many are beginning to see this blend happening in their waking states, seeing strange things, being aware of matters that have been hidden, much is occurring that will clue you into the greater reality of your being, that it is fully present even when the body sleeps. Look to the day to see what may come forward that may explain a dream, or even trigger a memory of that which was the dream or the experience that was achieved during this alternate state of wakefulness. There is magic in the air, and this magic is that which is your greater reality and your greater destiny. This ends this opening message at this time.